Good morning. This is our first interview with Eileen McCafferty DiFranco as we discuss her new book, The Cost of Sainthood. Eileen, in the introduction to your book, The Cost of Sainthood, you quote from a book entitled The Sense of the Past, which was written by a C.V. Wedgewood. What is the story behind that book you quote from, as it is little known to the broader public?
So I read A Sense of the Past for a freshman honors course many decades ago, and I never got rid of the book, and I often reread it over the course of the years. Initially, I had no idea that CV stood for Cecily Veronica, and that she used CV to deflect the ongoing prejudice against women historians.
Why did you choose the quote you did from Wedgwood's book?
I used her quote in the introduction to The Cost of Sainthood because many people told me over the course of the 7 years that I was writing the book that I could not judge the people of the past according to 21st century morals. The most common criticism was everyone at the time did or believed in whatever evil the saint was doing, as if that absolved the saint from wrongdoing. Wedgwood would disagree. She argued directly against that premise. In fact, she wrote that moral law must lie at the root of all historical judgment. She is adamant that you cannot apply different moral standards to different epochs, because if you do that, you ultimately accept the historical explanation for immoral conduct and use that explanation to justify the immoral conduct. And you can witness the justification for evil behavior being played out in American politics today.
Could you say that in a simpler way that is easier to understand?
Sure. In other words, the moral law is the same in all times and all places, from creation until today and until the end of time. Love God, love your neighbor, including your enemy. This never changes and has been the gold standard of all the great religions. Jesus, in fact, said that upon these two commandments, the entire law rests. Questions of right and wrong, humanity and inhumanity should be equally significant to the historian, regardless of the period. Thus, it was as immoral to be anti-Semitic in the so-called Dark Ages and in the 12th century as it is wrong to be anti-Semitic in the 21st century. And it is always a bad idea to normalize or canonize behavior that hurts our fellow human beings.
Thanks for that clarity. And wow, Wedgwood really impressed you. Did Wedgwood's moral clarity and energy remain constant chapter after chapter? Were you not sometimes tempted to gloss over a few things so that the saint might not look so bad?
As I said in my book, too often we use the past to heighten our sense of religiosity, patriotism, patriarchy, and triumphalism. If only we could return to those thrilling days of yesteryear. This reliance upon glorifying the past creates a mythical golden age that never existed for any civilization or any religion. And it also creates a milieu where people's feelings and beliefs about the past become far more important than what actually happened. The vast majority of the saints were carefully designed to create or perpetuate this myth and to evoke these feelings while skirting around, dismissing, or ignoring unpleasant points. The fact is that we can never return to those thrilling days of yesteryear because they never existed.
Thank you, Eileen, for sharing the deep moral roots that not only led to the beginning of your book, The Cost of Sainthood, but run through all of its chapters. I'm looking forward to partnering with you in preparing the second episode.
Thank you.